annual Veterans Day program that is sponsored by the American Legion Post 47 in coordination with the Fairfield High School staff and student body. Thank you to the community members that could make it, students and staff, and most importantly, the many veterans that have served or are currently serving that are here with us today. Veterans, we are honored to be in your presence, and thank you for the opportunity for our students and staff to share this day with you. Before we get started, I'd like to take a few moments to celebrate and share a short video with you. This is a video tribute to our veterans and the service and valor that they gave our country. As a side note, as I was watching the videos to the side that were related to Veterans Day, I took the time to watch the many videos that showed veterans coming home to surprise their families. I can tell you that it moved me emotionally to see this awesome sight that I have never been part of personally. I can only imagine what this feeling is like for all of the families that one day hope that their loved ones come back home to them safely. I challenge students to do the same thing in the near future so that you can at least imagine what the feeling of the families will be like when their loved ones come back home that are involved in the military. I hope you enjoyed this video tribute to the veterans. As we begin this ceremony, please take a moment silently to remember all of those veterans that have served before us. At this time, I would like to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, Retired Sergeant, First Class, James Saltz.
Welcome to all of you in the audience in the auditorium today, and those of you that are listening on the radio today. We're glad you're here. We have a good program for you today, and I think you'll be impressed by your speaker today, your student speakers. If you're able, would you please stand and join me with the Fox Choir? National Anthem, our acoustics on the right, and just band.
We gather today to remember those who have served our nation and served us, giving their youth, their strength, and in some cases, their lives. Help us this day to honor them with genuine gratitude. And may our integrity match that which is or was theirs. Open our hearts, Lord, to these men and women who have served with distinction and honor. Forgive us our forgetfulness in not remembering those who have sacrificed, that we might enjoy our freedoms. Lord, help us in this task today. Amen.
Thank you. Aren't they great? And what talent we have here in Fairfield. Of course, the band is directed by Mr. Jim Edgston. Last year's Citizen of the Year, and I can understand why. Before we start with our speakers today, I want to share something with you today. How many of you know that there is a Medal of Honor winner buried here in Fairfield? Raise your hand if you know. Anybody? Nobody knows. I don't think. Let me share something with you. Back in 1818, there was a man born in Massachusetts, Sergeant James Strong, and he enlisted into the 49th Massachusetts Infantry. Civil War soldier, led a charge at the age of 44 is when he enlisted into the Massachusetts Infantry, and led a charge, volunteered and led a charge in Port Huron, Louisiana, captured a Confederate flag, was awarded the Medal of Honor for his heroic actions. Later on, he moved to Fairfield and lived here until 1900 when he died. And he is buried out here in Evergreen Cemetery on Lone D Street, which I think very few people know. So it's always interesting when you learn a little history about veterans. But before I speak, we have our couple students here that are going to speak about their time at Girls State and Boys State, and they're up in the choir and the band, so they're probably on their way down. I don't see them coming down yet. I know they're going to be here in a second. Our first student to speak will be Senior Lindsay Rep. And when I visited with Lindsay, I was really impressed by how involved she is with all of her activities here in the school. She sings in the choir, plays clarinet in the band, and has been a two-time All-State Band winner. She played basketball in her freshman year and has been a basketball manager for 3 years. She is on the golf team and plays second at the state meet in Marshalltown. With all she is involved with, she still has time to complete her classwork and is a member of the National Honor Society. Her plans after graduation are to attend college and major in electrical engineering. Lindsay, where are you? Please come down and share your experience about Girls State.
My least favorite part about Girls State, giving speeches. Here I am. This past summer, due to the generous sponsorship of the local American Legion Auxiliary, I was able to attend American Legion Auxiliary Girls State at Iowa State University in Ames. Girls State is a program that takes girls through the entire political process, from city government up to state government. To tell you a little bit about Girls State, on arrival, the 260 attendees were said to be citizens of the theoretical state of Hawkeye. The girls were separated into 7 cities, mine being the city of Ladderhoff. All the cities were divided into the Nationalist and Federalist parties. Throughout the week, people campaigned for different offices. In the beginning of the week, people ran for city positions, such as mayor and city council. As the week progressed, we were able to campaign for state positions. Campaigning included, in my opinion, the most challenging part of Girls State, giving a lot of speeches. After campaigning was finished, the other citizens of Hawkeye would then vote for the winner of the election. Let me tell you, I won my election by a landslide. By one vote, I was elected county treasurer. Apart from the stress of campaigning, other activities were offered as well. There were numerous motivational speakers, including former U.S. diplomat and Iranian hostage Captain Coe. We also had the opportunity to tour the Iowa State campus. While at Girls State, the Legion encouraged us to acquire the qualities that service members exemplify. Be courageous. Have courage in everything you attempt. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, whether it be standing up for what you believe in or simply having the courage to speak in front of an audience. Be selfless. Be willing to put others before yourself. Donate your time to helping others, or like many have done in the past and like many have done in this auditorium, volunteer to serve your country. Be dedicated. Dedicate yourself fully to everything you do. Commit yourself to a purpose and maintain a good work ethic towards it. The theme of this year's Girls State was Hearts and Hands for Veterans. With this theme came 4 goals. The first goal was to educate. We learned about numerous programs in place to assist veterans with the transition from the battlefield back to everyday life. The second goal was to motivate. We were motivated to take place in these numerous programs, from the POPPY program, in which veterans are provided financial assistance, to the Pause and Effect program, in which service dogs are distributed to assist veterans. There is always an opportunity for involvement. The third goal is to appreciate. The following are some ways to show your appreciation for veterans. Show proper respect for the American flag. Attend send-off and welcome ceremonies. And take part in the Freedom Honor Flight program. The Freedom Honor Flight program is a program that flies veterans to Washington, D.C. to visit the memorials that stand in their honor. The fourth and final goal was to thank a veteran. We see them everywhere, with their embellished hats, vests, and coats. Feel free to walk up to one and just thank them for protecting our freedoms. Girls Day was an amazing experience for me. Not only was I able to learn about the inner workings of the government, I also made many friends who I still stay in touch with today. Once again, I'd like to thank the American Legion Auxiliary for giving me the opportunity to attend Girls Day, and to all the veterans in attendance, thank you for your service.
Thank you, Lindsay. The Boy State participant this year is also involved heavily in school. He also is a member of the choir and band. He plays trumpet in the band. Very involved in everything, and which to me just is unreal. Dakota Anderson. He sings, like I said, plays trumpet, member of the honor band, and he has also participated in all-state musical theater. With all he is involved, he still has time to complete his classwork, and also a member of the National Honor Society. Dakota plans, after graduation, to attend college at the University of Northern Iowa and major in music education. Dakota will share with you about his experience at Camp Dodge and Grimes, Iowa.
So, by show of hands, how many of you here have been in a situation where you're in a group of a bunch of people, yet you don't know anyone? So, a lot of us, right? Probably like kindergarten, preschool, something like that. So, let me tell you about a recent experience I had with that situation. Boy State. So, what exactly is Boy State, and what did I learn from it? I'll tell you both of those things in this speech, as Boy State was one of the most transformative 6 days in my entire life. So, what is Boy State? To put it simply, it's a program for high school junior boys going into their senior year that teaches them about the U.S. government and how it works. So, it takes place at Camp Dodge in Grimes, Iowa, which is a military base most commonly known for training the Iowa National Guard. At Boys State, we are all split up into cities, counties, and then all 500 plus of us make up Boys State, the 51st state. So, all of the Boys State delegates are expected to run for elections at the city, county, and state level. And campaigning for these elections takes place in the first 3 days. Now, as we all know, we can't all win an election. So after elections take place and our new elected officials are in office, you can be appointed to a position. Likewise, at the city, county, and state level. Some positions might include, at the state level, director of education, lots of director positions, and heck, even at the city level, there's a dog catcher position. So, by the end of the week, everyone has a job, no matter what it is. So, what exactly did I learn? Well, while I was there, I ran for senator because I remembered that Dakota Weber last year was a senator at Girl State, and I thought, hey, that would be kind of cool to have a Dakota senator at Girl State, and then the next year have a Dakota senator at Boys State. So, from the same school. So I thought, that'd be cool. But I learned that campaigning is tough, and I lost my election. But that didn't get me down, because the next day, I went directly to our newly elected Secretary of Agriculture and asked that I be appointed the Director of Department of Natural Resources. So he asked me a few baseline questions, like why do you feel that you're qualified, how hard are you willing to work, stuff like that. And about an hour later, he found me sitting outside my barracks and said, congratulations, you got the position. So inside I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. But on the outside I was like, okay, cool, thanks. So what I learned from that was persistence. Just because I lost my election for senator didn't mean that I was going to just sit back and be, well, looks like I'm the dog catcher now, so not anything like that. Another thing that I learned was respect, in that all of the volunteers there, with the exception of the counselors, because they're 19, 20, or 21, all of them there were legionnaires. They were veterans. They had fought in a war, be it the Gulf War, Korea, Vietnam, heck, there was even a guy from World War II there. So I learned respect because they took out 6 days out of their leisure time in their summer to teach 500 plus boys about the US government. And that to me shows the utmost dedication towards educating the future leaders of America. So, in conclusion, Boys State was definitely one of the most powerful weeks I've experienced in my entire life. And I'm glad that I got the chance to go, and I'm glad that I got to share what I learned with all of you today. That is, persistence, but most importantly, respect for this country and respect for veterans. As our 33rd President of this United States, Harry S. Truman, once said, our debt to the heroic men and valiant women in the service of our country can never be repaid. They have earned our undying gratitude, and America will never forget their sacrifices. Thank you.
This is really great. We have such great students in the Fairfield High School system here. Well, I have a great honor today to introduce our speaker. I have known Colonel Harper probably for over 25 years. Our son and him were both in high school here, graduated in 1990, played football together, been out to our house, hunted birds together, and I've known him for a long time as a member of the Guard. Colonel Harper recently retired as a lieutenant colonel in the Iowa Army National Guard. He enlisted into the Iowa Army National Guard while a junior here at FHS and completed basic training during the summer between his junior and senior year. After he graduated in 1990, he went on to complete his advanced individual training as a heavy equipment operator. And shortly after that, in January of 1991, our unit here in Fairfield was placed on active duty in support of Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and he went with us to Germany for 6 months. He is a graduate of the Primary Leadership Development course, which is an enlisted course. And later on, he decided he wanted to become an officer, so he went to the officer Candidate School, Camp Dodge, completed the Engineer Officer Basic Course, Captain's Career Course, Combined Arms Exercise Course, Company Command Course, Battalion Officer in Charge Course. He has obtained his associate's degree from Indian Hills Community College here, his BA from Buena Vista University, his MA from Drake University, and his specialist endorsement from the University of Northern Iowa. He has participated in humanitarian deployments in support of flood duty in 1993, 1995, 2008, and 2010. In 2005, Colonel Harper was activated again for Operation Iraqi Freedom and served with the 224th Engineer Battalion in Iraq. The Engineer Battalion performed route recon clearance to remove improvised explosive devices in Iraq, and at the time were assigned to the Marine Division, and he is one of the few soldiers in the Iowa Army National Guard that is entitled to wear a Marine Corps patch on his uniform. He is currently the superintendent of schools in Sigourney, Iowa. Will you please give a warm welcome to FHS graduate, Colonel David Parker.
First of all, thank you for allowing me to come here today. And Lindsay, it doesn't get any easier public speaking. So. I have fond memories of Fairfield High School. I'm a product of this district, and this is where I grew up, and I was molded here. And I'd like to throw a special thank you out to Mr. Rep and Mrs. Gowdy for providing me that pressure and support as a high school student, and that much needed kick in the butt every now and then. So appreciate it. But we're honored here. I'm honored here today to talk about Veterans Day, and we're here to honor our brave men and women who have probably served our country since it was a colony. For nearly 380 years, Americans have stepped forward towards the sound of battle to protect our citizens and our way of life from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Today is our day to remember those who have served our nation and those who continue to serve. We gather to recognize our veterans of all services who have sacrificed both in war and peacetime to protect America and our freedoms. Armistice Day, originally proclaimed by President Woodrow Wilson in November 1919, recognized the ceasefire of World War I and the signing of the armistice on November 11, 1918 at 11 a.m., 11th hour, 11th day, 11th month. More than 20 million service members and innocent civilians perished during the 4 years of global bloodshed during World War I. Following World War I, America continued to observe Armistice Day each November 11th, and it became a celebration after World War II in 1945. In 1954, following the hard-fought Korean War, Congress replaced the word armistice with veterans to honor all U.S. veterans each year on November 11th and bring greater unity to our nation. For more than 60 years, we have celebrated Veterans Day in the United States. Today, we honor the service of our courageous Americans who have served across the globe throughout our nation's history. Whether it's in the Pacific or the European theaters during World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Grenada, Panama, Iraq, Afghanistan, or a dozen other duty locations, both stateside and overseas, these veterans have served our nation with distinction and honor. The vast majority of our veterans today are no longer wearing the uniform. Nearly 22 million living Americans have served in our armed forces. That is about 7% of our population who have protected and preserved the freedom for the other 93%. Nearly 244,000 Iowans have proudly served our country and have earned the title of veteran. Many veterans have gone quietly to become our neighbors after taking off the uniform. Whether they served recently or defended our nation decades ago, veterans represent an unwavering dedication to freedom and exemplify the highest ideals of service to America. Many veterans continue to serve our community, state, and nation in important capacities after finishing their military careers. For veterans, service isn't a phase of their life, it's a lifelong commitment. And as I was practicing this morning, the quote from John F. Kennedy came to mind. You know, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. And that is a veteran. On this day, Veterans Day, we are still a nation at war. October 7th, 2015 marked the 14th year U.S. has operated continuously in Afghanistan, seeking justice for those Americans killed in the terrorist attacks of 9/11. Today, we honor the unwavering courage of our men and women who have served in our military throughout time, including those engaged in the ongoing efforts to secure our nation and fight terrorism. Our men and women in uniform, both past and present, have been and still remain the most powerful line of defense against enemies who set out to do us harm. Approximately 2.8 million Americans currently serve on active duty, in the reserves, in the National Guard around the world. That is less than 1% of our nation, providing security and peace for the other 99%. The true strength of our military is the spirit and skills of the men and women who have worn the uniform. They have answered the call of duty from across America and Iowa, whether it's from a small town, rural areas, or cities. Over the course of the last year alone, Iowans in uniform have remained focused on missions in Afghanistan, Africa, the Middle East, and in the fight against terrorist networks around the world. At the same time, we have maintained a constant vigilance at home, defending America from all who threaten our freedom. As we enjoy this peaceful November day, thousands of Iowans continue to serve in harm's way around the globe. And it is our sacred responsibility to honor those who have returned home, especially our wounded warriors, for their selfless service. We must also honor the families of our veterans who sacrifice quietly in their own, often uncelebrated ways. And we must never, ever forget those who paid for our freedoms with their lives. The concepts of selflessness and sacrifice qualities which exhibit in every soldier, Marine, sailor, airman, and Coast Guardman are the bedrock of our volunteer force. Survival in America depends on the willingness of our men and women to step forward and to serve, to dedicate themselves to a greater cause, the cause of protecting our democracy and our way of life. Since the first muster of the Massachusetts militia in 1636, the guardians of our nation have been willing to serve and sacrifice for a country and a cause they love more than their own lives. This has never changed. What has changed, particularly in the last decade, is the image of our veterans. Almost half of those serving on active duty today are between 22 and 30 years old. America now has the largest population of young veterans since the Vietnam War. Many of our veterans are now college students or just starting a civilian career, and many of them have families that love and care for these warriors. To our veterans, our service members of all ages and heirs of service who have engaged in combat, stability operations, humanitarian assistance missions, we honor you. To those service members who paid the ultimate price or who are still missing or unaccounted for, we honor you by remembering your profound sacrifice you and your families have made for our great nation. On Veterans Day, people stop in silence to pay tribute to the heroes of the battlefield who never see themselves as heroes. But we owe more to our veterans, other than a moment of silence or our memories or our thanks. Thomas Jefferson said more than 200 years ago, "The price of freedom is internal vigilance." Our veterans have selflessly stood watch while America has slept for 3 centuries. On Veterans Day, I ask you not just to voice your voice, but let your actions hold high. What have you done for your freedoms today? The highest honor you could give our veterans is to live your life with purpose. Leverage your liberty to make our communities, Iowa, and our nation a better place. Go out and vote. Help your neighbors. Volunteer in your community. Recognize the sacrifices of our veterans. Do something to help them and their families, no matter how small. Encourage businesses to hire veterans. Many of our service members separated from the military are looking for productive employment when they come back to our communities. The leadership and technical skills developed in the military make our veterans a valuable addition to any organization, especially here in the state of Iowa. To all our veterans, past and present, and to your families, there is no tribute, no recognition, no praise that can truly match the magnitude of your sacrifice and your service. At this time, would all veterans, if you're able to, please stand. If you're unable to stand, please raise your hand. For your honorable service, and that may we aspire to live our lives as a testament to the freedoms that you have unselfishly secured for us. Regardless of their era of service, our Iowa servicemen and women have served with honor and courage, both at home and overseas. They have protected us from harm. They have protected us night and day, and given us opportunities for a better life. Let me close with a speech by Ronald Reagan. President Reagan tells a story about Private Martin Crypto. He was a barber, enlisted in the Iowa National Guard. He became part of the 168th Infantry Battalion, which was part of the 42nd Division, the famous Rainbow Division of World War I. Crypto was killed during the war while delivering messages between battalions. Martin's diary was found on his body, and on the flyleaf, under the heading, "My Pledge," he wrote these words: "America must win this war. Therefore I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost, as the issue of the whole struggle depend on me alone." Peace is the highest aspiration of our American people. We do not negotiate for it. We will not sacrifice for it. We will sacrifice for it. We will never, though, surrender for it. There is no weapon or arsenal that a nation possesses that is more powerful than the will and moral courage of our free men and women. Be sure to take time today to thank a veteran and these great American heroes. Thank you for the opportunity to come back to FHS to honor our veterans. May God bless you and your families, and may God bless the United States of America. Ooh-ah.
Thank you, Colonel Harper. Always good to see an FHS graduate make good, isn't it? I look out in the crowd today and I see a lot of soldiers I know, and I could tell you lots of stories about them and bring back memories for them, but I think what would be better, if any of you students are here and you want to learn some history about military, talk to some of these veterans. I know 2 years ago when Master Sergeant Glenn spoke here, said I got an assignment for you. That's contact a veteran, talk to a veteran, and learn a little about them. I don't know if any of you passed, but here's your chance to get a second chance to do it. And I know out front here, I just want to recognize one person that had a big impact on Colonel Harper here, and that's Walt Bramley right down front here. Walt was a member of the Iowa Army National Guard. I think on the 133rd Infantry, was that correct? Got activated during the Vietnam War, ended up in Vietnam, was a lieutenant with an infantry platoon, and was involved in some pretty heavy conflict. And one of his fellow officers is a Medal of Honor winner. And if you want to learn a little bit of story about Vietnam and what those soldiers sacrificed, talk to them. Oh, we got talent in town. It's really great. Thank you so much. We'll now have the benediction by Pastor Jim Witherspoon.
Let us pray. Oh God, we thank you for those we have come to remember. Many of them carry wounds for the rest of their lives, both physical and emotional. God, be with them. We remember their families who also sacrificed and carry their own wounds. And Lord, as we leave this place, let us not forget. May we remember and give thanks. Amen.
Before we close, I would like to make some announcements for you. The American Legion has been conducting Memorial Day and Veterans Day ceremonies for many years. The annual Veterans Day program is sponsored by American Legion Post 47 in coordination with Fairfield High School staff. We appreciate everything they do to help honor and remember military veterans in this community and nation. Thank you to the members of the Veterans Forum Wars and all volunteers who have years have posted the flags in the park, however unable to do it today because of the weather. Recognize the Legion, the Elks Club, and certainly all who made this a special occasion today. Pastor Jim Witherspoon, Mr. Jim Edgston, the FHS band, Mr. Zach Ryder and Box, Principal Aaron Becker, and our student speakers, Lindsay Rett and Dakota Anderson, and the entire high school administration for permitting us to use this auditorium, help with the sound, lights, and staging, of course, our speaker, Colonel Harper. Just a reminder, today at 6 o'clock at the VFW, we'll have a Veterans Dinner at 6 o'clock at the Veterans VFW Hall, and all veterans are invited to attend. At this time, I'll turn the program over to Mr. Becker, who will dismiss the students first. And thank you for your participation today.
Fairfield High School, is this not awesome or what? That we have so many people in Fairfield and the surrounding communities that have impacted our freedom so much. Let's give one more big round of applause. In closing, I want to give a special thanks to retired Lieutenant Colonel David Harper for being our guest, but also to the American Legion, and also to Sergeant First Class Retired James Saltz for helping organize this program. That we love this program. This is one of the biggest and one of our most favorite events throughout the school year, that we're able to share this day with all of our veterans. Students and community members, just like everybody else that has spoken today, I encourage you to, before you leave, that you come up front, you talk to a veteran, thank them for their services. This is one time where we get this opportunity. But make sure that it's not just today. Make sure that when we see veterans throughout the community, everywhere we go, that we show them honor, respect, and say thank you for their services. One thing that veterans, I would also like to share with you, that we would like, before you leave, we would like for the veterans to come up to the front. We'd like to get a group photo of all of our veterans that are here today. And also, veterans, we would like for you to join us for refreshments after the photo here up on the stage. So again, thank you for everything that you've done for us, that you are currently doing for us. And we give a great thank you for everything throughout all of our lives. Students, we will be returning to third hour, but again, if you want to take this opportunity to thank a veteran, you are more than welcome to do so. Thank you, everybody, for being with us today. That is the end of our program. Have a great day.
spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for a purple mountain, majesties above the fruited plains. America, America, God shed His grace on thee and crowned thy God with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrims' feet who stand in passion stress, fair of freedom's beat across the wilderness. America, oh, oh, America, God meant thine every flaw and confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in love.
Max Smith here, and thanks for watching another one of my adventure videos. If you want to watch the previous adventure video, then click on the previous video. If you want to see the next week's video when it's available, of my next adventure, well, then click on that. If you want to see my weekly vlog, then click on weekly vlog. If you want to see a mystery video, well, then click on that mystery video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you're on a mobile device, you can click on that little circle with the eye on it, and it'll take you to the cards, which is a new thing YouTube is doing. So that's right. Thanks for watching. You're all wonderful, and peace out. Max Smith